Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classics as Non-Classics. This is episode number 1109 and Doubleshot number 1003. I have one DC trade and one Marvel trade for you. First up it is Justice Society America. Monument Point, collecting Justice Society America Volume 3, Issues 50-54. Yes, this is technically the last trade to collect issues from Justice Society America Volume 3. No, I'm not finished with this volume yet. I just happened to get this in just recently. Now, these issues are not written by Jeff Johns. This is written by Mark Guggenheim. You probably think, wait, Mark Guggenheim, you mean one of the guys behind Arrow? Yes, he did this before he did Arrow. Yeah, this is actually the second book to collect his very brief run he had for the book. This run was only like 11 issues. It was really, really short. Yeah, and this is the second trade that collects his run. And by the time I finished reading this, I'm kind of like, man, they could have told more story here, but no, they couldn't. Because the New 52 had to happen. And this title got axed and replaced with Earth 2, which is a pretty decent title, by the way. But I'm thinking, though, why end this great book? And I know they are back, the JSA, but the problem is there is no title featuring them. They appear in the returning pages of Justice League of all things. Thank you, Scott Snyder, for bringing them back. And of course, Jeff Johns did write them again in Doomsday Clock. Yeah, but this is the classic JSA. Now, pretty much with this particular book, yes, Mark Guggenheim does the writing from here. The artwork is done by several different artists, especially the first issue. These are the artists: Tom Durant, Jerry Ordway, Sean Pearsons, Bob McLean, which I had met this guy, also got me in person, George Perez, Scott Kubelich, Howard Schenken, and Freddie Williams II. The cover art here is done by Felipe Mustafa. Yeah. Now, here's the thing. Now, I should point out, though, about Alan Scott. Here on the cover, he is wearing his classic attire. In the book, he actually does not wear that outfit at all. Nope. He wears this outfit. Yeah. For what I know about this, yeah, what Alan Scott did, he merged with his Lantern to basically become Sentinel. But to me, he's always Green Lantern. And the JSA's lineup at this point is the following. We have Wildcat, Green Lantern, The Flash, aka Jay Garrick, who in this storyline is the mayor of Monument Point. That's the name of the town that they're based in for the last part of the run, because they're based in several different places over the years. They're based in New York City, based in Gotham. The most common place featured is the Washington DC, which DC was also a city that Wonder Woman was based in. Yes, but Monument Point is probably by far a city that has no history with them in it, so they're based out of the city. We also have Dr. Fate, and this apparently is, they say it's Kent Nelson. I don't know if this is the original Kent Nelson, or this is Kent V. Nelson, his great nephew. I think it's probably the original Dr. Fate, I'm not really sure. We also have Lightning. Yeah, the character Lightning, she had a problem with her powers since the Stardust went. Yeah, that gets resolved here. We also have the Challengers of the Unknown. Yes, those who know who the Challengers of the Unknown are. They are a group of characters created by the late Jack the King Kirby, and they're utilized pretty well here. Yeah, Mr. Terrific is here as well. And let me show you off here. This is from what I can tell, this is the classic challenges. This is mostly the Challenge of the Unknown. Yeah, wearing the Jack Kirby outfits. Yeah, these are characters created by Jack Kirby, and the thing is about these characters have had to make recent appearances in recent years. They appeared for 3 issues of DC Universe Presents, and after that, they never appeared again until they popped up in Dark Knight's Metal, which they got a brief ongoing series after that, called New Challengers, which got canceled after 5 issues. And that's all you can hear about the Challenge of the Unknown, because they haven't done jack squat with them since then. Yep. And we also have a flashback in here in the storyline of them having a past with a senator Eden. This guy, I don't know how long this guy has been a senator, but Seems like he's been senator for way too long. I will get about that in a minute. Yep, the guy apparently he's reckoned to be the head at that point. The committee of the Senate Committee on American Activities, which is similar to real life something that happened in the 50s. But this one, oh boy, I was not a fan of this version at all. Now, this group, pretty much their purpose in this universe is to be anti-superhero. They hate superheroes with a passion for absolutely no reason at all. Now, the JSA do mention they were formed as part of Executive Order for Wartime. And they asked, like, okay, war's over. What exactly are you doing? And they actually were asked to unmask, which they all refused to do. Which later on, they actually decide to disband. It's not mentioned here, but yeah, they disbanded right after that meeting. Because the thing is, here's the thing about the House Un-American Committee. This committee was, from what I've heard about them, a completely, this is a committee that basically, the one this group is based upon, the real life version, when I read about them, they were a group of people who specialized in witch hunts. They were searching for communists everywhere across the freaking country. Because they caught 2 communist spies, which they sent to jail. And Joseph McCarthy headed this committee. And he desperately searched for more communist spies. He never found any. He spent a majority of the 1950s doing this. Putting people on the blacklist. Yes, this is actually a real thing. This still kind of gets safe, but not as bad as it was in the 50s. Like, if you were associated with the Communist Party, this is what I read about them, that you would be on this blacklist where you would basically be hunted and basically, at times for like no reason at all. And McCarthy had this imaginary list of people he suspected of being communist spies, but from what I've heard, there actually was nobody on that list. He completely made that up to just justify his communist manhunt. The DC Universe version is similar to them, but instead of going after the communists, they went after superheroes. And by the way, they have Hawkman in a mask that I am not really a big fan of. Like, this is a sequence of by the awesome Howard Chaykin. I met the guy, awesome guy, me in person. Now, I do like how he draws the Flash. It's a great look for him. I'm not really a big fan of how he draws the Black Canary. I mean, look at this. This is Howard Chaykin's artwork, and this is the face he gives to Black Canary. Now, you're probably thinking, wait, is that the Black Canary? This is, of course, pre-Flashpoint. Is this the smoking hot babe who is married to Green Arrow? No, this is her mother. I am not kidding about that. That is basically her. And here's a close-up on Hawkman. This mask, I am not really a big fan of. I like the bird-style mask he's not wearing. This mask, I've never been a really big fan of. But when I can tell, he actually wore this mask mainly in the 50s. Yes. And the lineup apparently in the 50s was Black Canary, Flash, Hawkman, Green Lantern, the Alfred, Atom, and Dr. Midnight. This is the original Dr. Midnight, who died in 0 Hour. Yes, and so did the Atom. As for what happened to Black Canary, this version, she died in the final issue of Secret Origins. Carter Hall, aka the original Hawkman, still existed prior to Flashpoint, though he had different hair color. And Jay Garrick and Alan Scott also existed pre-Flashpoint. And he apparently hated the JSA. And the thing is, he was still senator in present day. This is basically the whole thing of a senator who was basically senator back in the 50s and still senator this very day. This is nothing uncommon. This is very common occurrence. This happened to late Ted Kennedy because apparently the people of Massachusetts decided to constantly put him on a rotation cycle, keep putting him on the bill, and keep constantly re-electing him despite how old this man got when he died. Yes. I don't know if in fact that the whole thing of the senator still being senator in present day. This of course is based upon stuff for the American Congress. Yes, this is something that is indeed true. Like, I've met a few congressmen, and they are very nice people. The ones I've met and actually do understand. They do, yes, they do have something they want to do in Congress, but at least not complete stupid, or at least basically there just to have a flashy look rich and basically still make money even though they're no longer in office. But politics is something basically I'm not really thinking about what I'm talking about here, but it's associated with this book, so I kind of brought it up here. Yes, and Senator Engine has this big secret he wants to keep. Heck, the FBI, they have this secret organization which doesn't have a name. It's just referred to as the organization. They want to keep this secret. What is the secret monument point? Underneath the city, and of course it's a big challenge to learn about this, there's this door. Jay Garrick is going to go down this door. We also have the second Hour Man here, Rick Tyler, and we have this beautiful wife, who is back being Jesse Quick again. Yes, if you read at the start of this run, she was Liberty Bell, and yet she's back being Jesse Quick. The Challenge of the Unknown even pointed out that her name is really silly. I mean, they call her Flash Girl, or think of something different than Jesse Quick. Yeah, I do kind of agree it's kind of a silly name, but Liberty Bell probably sounds more interesting than Jesse Quick. I mean, heck, she's back in her outfit she made her debut back in the 90s. This red top with this bird on it with, I think it's like gold pants and like a gold mask, and the way she used her super speed is she uses a mathematical formula. Yeah, unknown why she's basically like this for. And what is the big secret? Okay, there's this underground city underneath Monument Point. Inside the city is a demigod, which apparently can take away many-human powers. I'm like, so this is the secret that Ellington basically want to keep a secret. Okay, fine. And of course, the majority of the storyline is them fighting this creature, and then by the last issue, it was like, oh, we open up to the funeral of Alan Scott. Yes, apparently he died battling this creature, and also basically, Jay Garrick also had a battle city politics while during this period of time, during the course of the storyline, where he was caught up all the complaints that apparently that when Monument Point was rebuilt by the JSA, they were built the code, the fact about the money issue, the fact he had to do a police force. He does acknowledge everything. He acknowledged there's faults, and he does admit that he does tell them he's actually faced crisis. He's actually walked beside actual gods, which that's indeed true. He basically gave a speech that's equivalent to basically based on his experience as a longtime superhero, as a veteran superhero. And him becoming a mayor of a city like Monument Point, in my opinion, this is a smart move and part of Guggenheim to do. Making someone like Jay Garrick, who is by far one of DC's, not one of the more well-known superheroes, making him the mayor of a small town like this is a smart decision and part of Guggenheim to do. And I thoroughly enjoy this book. I think this book is fantastic. I think Guggenheim should get a lot more praise for his run for JSA. Because a lot of times lately, when people think of this particular group, what's the one writer we think of? Jeff Johns. Guggenheim should be up there too, because these issues are fantastic. Plus, the issue 50 has got like 4 or 5 different artists on it. Yeah. I mean, the first issue alone has got like issue 50, which has got like several different artists on it. Yeah. Now, the thing about this volume is this. Oh, I give this book a 9.5 out of 10. It's really good. Is that this is the first JSA volume this is the first volume of Just Like America to reach 50 issues. And it was a worthwhile celebration. It's just a shame though that 4 issues afterwards we have the end of the book. Yes, the book ended because of the New 52. That's the reason why. Despite the fact if you read this, you're like, man, there could have been more story here. It's like they set up a lot more. It's like Guggenheim when he finished this book. It's like he set up a potential for about several years of storytelling, but New 52. Bam, then the deal for that. Yeah, but the book itself was really good. Also, I should talk about the trade I got here. Apparently somebody, I don't know if they stole this from a library. I purchased this from Amazon for about $8, and yeah, they may have bought it from book sale, but okay, I have bought trades from a library for, or at least books, but at least they bothered to remove their freaking tags. You see this thing? Yeah, but I don't know if I'm probably not gonna buy from that seller again. Yeah, and this next book I actually have from Ollie's, not from Amazon. This is a classic story. I mean, this series is called Classic / Non-Classic. Here's a classic story. X-Men Days of Future Past. With this classic cover, which has been homaged several times over the years. There's several good examples, like the first issue of Marvel Zombies vs. Army of Darkness. They use this very cover. They also use this for something. They also use it for Avengers cover. This is one of those X-Men covers that's been homaged several times over the years. This book collects issues 138 to 143 on Kinney X-Men. This, of course, is the original line for the series, and number 4. This all the issues. Everything in here is written by Chris Claremont. The main issues themselves were written by John Byrne. The annual is drawn by John Romita Jr. The annual is nothing. Now, most of the issues in here have nothing really much to do with Days of Future Past. It's mostly for stuff that couple issues that led up to Days of Future Past, and like one aftermath issue, which is just a Christmas issue. Now, if you read a Days of Future Past issue, which by the way take up issues, I think it's 141 442. It's a two-parter. Yes, it's a classic story. Is a two-parter. And rereading this again, I'm like, man, I get several deja vus to the film, to the live action version of this, which has adapted this loosely. They do make some subtle changes. In here, we have Kitty Pryde going to the past instead of Logan, like in the movie. And it's in the comic book, it's Rachel Grace in the past. In the movie, it's Kitty Pryde, which she developed power she didn't have in the comic books. Because Kitty Pryde's mutant ability is that she can walk through walls. That is her special ability. She doesn't have this ability that Rachel Gray had. Excuse me. And plus also, this book apparently takes place in the future year of 2013. 7 years ago. Also, the beginning of this book, basically, because I remember reading the Days of Future Past Battle Wars issue, the Battle Wars miniseries, it's like they apparently ripped off, because if you read that book and read this book back to back, it's a very similar opening. It's like you have this character who is like the focus character of the storyline. She meets with a Sentinel who basically is a past spy because she contains critical info. For her, basically, because she's supposed to be in this camp at this particular point, she's late, hacked by rogues. It's very similar to what happened in the Days of Future Past miniseries for Secret Wars. But yeah, the future stuff is pretty interesting, especially as Magneto himself is still alive at this point. And Professor Xavier's not here. Just basically just Magneto, Wolverine, Kitty Pryde, Colossus, and I think Storm. And that's it, because all the rest of the X-Men killed. At one point in these issues, basically, we have not. Now, the annual itself has. It's just Nightcrawler, but it's sent to the gates of it. Of course, there's a Dante Inferno reference in here. It's like, yeah, this guy is the guardian of the gates of hell. It's like, man, Dante, you look like not anything like what Dante described to you. He says, and he's like, times change. Yeah, the last issue in here is just a Christmas issue. Yeah. But Days of Future Past issue is pure classic Chris Claremont. Yeah, these issues were released in, I believe, 1980, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Yeah, from 1980 to 1981. So yeah, these issues actually... Now, the storyline came out roughly in, like, since 1980. It's been like 40 years ago. So it's a good time to review this. Even though, yes, the live-action film came out, I think it was like 2014, I think it was. Yeah. But this is pure gold for classic X-Men stuff. Give this book roughly a 9.5 out of 10. The story itself, Days of Future Past, that's 10 out of 10. Pure classic story. The rest of the issues in here, it's mostly just dealing with what's going on in the X-Men books at that point. Like Jean Grey apparently dying after the events of Dr. Phoenix Saga, which was very mixedly received. This storyline came right after that. and have the Christmas issue here. That's quite strange. It's kind of interesting though. They throw in like for a book called Days Future Past, only 2 issues deal with. I'm surprised they didn't throw in the annuals that deal with Days Future Present, which is a follow-up to that. They could throw that in here, but nope. We had to throw in issues 130, 140, and 143 in the annual, which have nothing to do with the storyline, except they just lead up to it. Yeah. But that's it for this one. Okay, so that's it for this particular review. My next review hopefully will be a review of Dragon Ball Z, because I actually am almost done current Arkham. I have roughly 8 episodes to go, so they're probably done about a couple hours. Okay, do you see next video. Bye.